Welcome to We Are Carroll, a service of the Community Foundation of Carroll County. I'm your host, Kayla Selinsky. Today, we speak with Bill Murphy, Executive Director of Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County. We learn about how the organization supports our over 12,000 veterans every day. To learn more about Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County, please visit Friends of Disabled Veterans, carrollcountymd.org. Remember, you can learn more about the Community Foundation of Carroll County on our website, wearecarroll.org. Stay with us.
My name is Bill Murphy, and I'm the Executive Director of Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County, Maryland.
And what does Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County, Maryland do for our veterans?
We do a lot of different things, Kayla. First of all, we're a nonprofit 501c3 with the Community Foundation of Carroll County, and our primary focus is to provide free transportation for veterans in Carroll County to non-emergency medical and dental facilities.
And what is the history of your organization? How did it get started?
Okay, we started the organization back in 2017, and started as a 501c3 in November of 17. And I'm the executive director, have been since the inception. And it's been a wonderful trip, doing what we do for the veterans. We have over 12,000 veterans here in Carroll County. We're one of the largest nonprofits doing the non-emergency transportation in the state of Maryland. And it's been a wonderful trip thanks to the financial support of our companies and individuals. We've raised approximately $550,000 over the last 7.5 years, and not including a lot of the medical equipment that we've accumulated. And what we do with the medical equipment is a lot of times we'll turn around and for example, there was a lady and she's not a veteran, but she's a non-veteran, and she called me up. She's an invalid and paraplegic, and she's down in the trailer park down in Carroll County in Finksburg, Maryland. And she asked me if there's any way that we can provide her with a power chair. And we just so happen to have a donation come in from a firefighter up in Parkland, Maryland, and we donated that to her. And one of the things that she really wanted to do was be able to take her little dog out for a walk in the morning, and also to prepare her own food. So the wheelchair that we provided her, a power chair, it had a lift on it of 18 inches. And this basically changed her life, because when you're in a wheelchair, you're about 12 or 15 inches below your countertop. So with this 18 inches, it provided her the opportunity to make her own meals, but most importantly, be able to take her dog out for a walk every morning. And that was one of the blessings of the last 7.5 years. I will never forget that. And this is the type of things that we do. And it's just not me. I'm the leader of it. However, I have an assistant. Her name is Nancy Fields. She's my executive assistant. And we basically go above and beyond helping our veterans. And there are other organizations. For example, the county has one organization. It's called the Mad Dog Express. And what they do is they take a lot of people at one time, a lot of the veterans, they'll put like 4 or 5 veterans in a bus and take them to different areas, like down in Baltimore or down to Martinsburg, West Virginia. In contrast, what we do is we take them one by one, and we're very, very happy to provide the best customer service available, because we'll take them, we'll wait for them. Then when they are finished their appointment, then we take them back home right to their door. And if necessary, we'll take them in their house and help them to get on with their lives. And it's been a true blessing for me. I look at this as my ministry. I'm a Christian, and this is what we should do for our veterans, because as Ronald Reagan said, the most powerful words in English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
What was the catalyst to starting the Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County? Why was it needed in Carroll County?
All right, first of all, if you have a medical problem and you, for example, call a local ambulance or a fire department or anything, the cost is borne by that resident. A lot of times, if they don't stay in the hospital, they have to pay for that themselves. So when we got the corporation started back in 2017, there was nothing like this in the state of Maryland that I was aware of. We live here in Carroll County, And we have with our residents, 25% of them are over 65 years old. So there's a great need for this type of service because we're a rural area and it's very difficult for our elderly people, veterans that would be able to go to the hospital to a non-emergency medical or dental appointment. So this is where we fill in by doing this. And we've been very blessed with our foundation's goals of reaching financial commitments that we have. For example, insurance for all of our vehicles. We have 4 wheelchair-equipped vans, and we have one van that picks up our donations from the veterans and the community here in Carroll County. And what we do is we go, for example, we have I have a heart patient. He goes down to Washington, D.C. for the Veterans Administration hospital down there, and they specialize in heart treatment. And he was from Colorado, and he moved in here to Carroll County, and he's a biker. He had a mountain bike. So when he was in Colorado, he did over 16,000 miles in 4 years, like about 4,000. So he's an avid biker. So he was having some trouble going up and down the hills, and he went down to the VA down in Green Street in Baltimore. We took him down there, and here we found out that he had an 85% blockage of the aorta valve, and it was life-threatening. So the doctors down in Green Street, they said, well, we have to take him down to Washington, D.C. So we took him down to Washington, D.C. They evaluated him for this. It's called the TAVR, TAVR operation. So what it is, they go up through the groin area, right up into the heart to that aorta valve, put this other new valve in there. They don't operate or anything. There's no going through the chest and all that. And right now, because of this operation, he's back to biking over 25 miles a day. I'm very, very proud of Nick for what he's doing. And by the way, he's 82 years old. He's not a spring chicken. He's been around the block a couple times. So this is the type of thing that really makes me tick and do what we do. But like I say, it's not just me. I'm the basically the operations director here, but I have Nancy and our team of drivers. And by the way, I might say that we're all unpaid. Okay, we're volunteers. All the money that we collect goes back into our foundation. And I just thank God for the Community Foundation of Carroll County because they do an outstanding job as far as taking care of all the monies and making sure that everything, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted in our operation. So they're wonderful, wonderful supporters. And one of the main things that we do as far as fundraising is that we collect cars that are unwanted, say that there's extra cars that are not needed by the families, and they donate them to us, and we give them a tax credit on their taxes for the donations that we receive. Mm-hmm. But it's also the many individuals and financial supporters that we have out there that are really helping, and people really appreciate what we're doing for them. Because the veterans today, they're really not getting the support that they really should from the government. They're trying the best they can. The VA health system is one of the largest in the world, and they can only do so much. But our demands are very, very high. The appointments, a lot of times, they were set back for quite a long time because they were overwhelmed by the need that's out there. But I remember back in 2018, I believe it was, or 2019, that President Trump started an operation that what he did is allowed the different operations to, for example, if you couldn't get into the VA in 30 days, you'd be able to go to your local doctors and offices and get that taken care of locally instead of waiting for the VA to do it. And however, it does have to be approved by the VA, and it's working out very, very well because what we do here in Carroll County, we work with the VA administration to make sure that everything is taken care of. So there's a great demand for it. We're doing well. We go as far as, like I say, Washington, D.C. We'll go up into a Lebanon VA up in Pennsylvania, go to York, Pennsylvania, and naturally down to Baltimore, Green Street, Lock Raven, and all the local doctors and dental offices as well. We work with the Mission to Mercy. That's out of Fairfield, Pennsylvania, but they have offices, and it's a mobile dental clinic and medical equipment as well. So we work with them as well. They're great supporters of ours.
What is your experience with the Community Foundation of Carroll County?
Community Foundation of Carroll County, I go back approximately 20 years. I was in I'm a public speaker. I was with Toastmasters for over 20 years, and we used to have our meetings down at the Community Foundation building in Westminster. And Audrey Simino is a great friend of mine, and she's the founding director of the Community Foundation of Carroll County. And I'm working with Jackie Matthias now, and she's the current director. And they're instrumental, like I say, in helping us as far as the PR work and like yourself here giving this podcast. And it's been a wonderful thing. And I was blessed in 2022 that I was the philanthropist of the year for my work with the veterans of Carroll County, and it's one of the greatest awards that I've ever received. I always want to be humble, but I was just so thankful for that award. And like I say, it's not just me, just what I represent is this organization, Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County. It's been a true blessing. The rewards that we all have received is just the thanks that we get from all of the veterans that are really supportive. And it's truly a blessing to help our veterans because they've done so much for us, and we have in return have to help them. And we're pretty well stretched, but we're doing, I believe, a very, very good job for the community and for all of our veterans, especially with the 12,000 veterans we have here in Carroll County. And it's great. You know, I'm really proud of what we're doing. And like I say, it's we have a long way to go, but we're doing good. You know.
If I have a nonprofit or if I was part of a nonprofit and they were thinking about getting involved with the Community Foundation of Carroll County, what advice would you give them? Why should they work with the Community Foundation of Carroll County?
Well, that's a very, very good question. And the answer to it, I'll just give my 2 cents on it. First of all, being a 501c3, the benefits that you get from it, like in our organization, we bought a $65,000 Chrysler Pacifica about 2 years ago, and we didn't have to pay any state income tax or federal income tax on it because we're a nonprofit. So the financial contribution is there. And also the fact that you don't have to, if you start an organization, one of the biggest hurdles that you have is getting the people to do the taxes and all the bill keeping and all of that. And they do that. That's all part of their operation that they have down there. Plus, you get the visibility of being one of the nations that are in Carroll County. And what all these nonprofits do is they help the people of Carroll County, whatever type of business that you want to start. By being part of the community foundation, it's just fantastic operation that they have, and they help you in basically getting the business started. But to get started in the beginning, you need to have a business plan. As for example, as what do you want to do? So you want to write all of that down. Then you go down and see Jackie, at the foundation, and they will direct you of what they can and cannot do. Okay, for example, one of the things they got to be here in Carroll County and have the business plan started up, which basically you didn't get. You do that, and they'll help you to put it in motion. So that's a plug for the community foundation, and they're the greatest people that ever worked with myself in many, many years.
Which staff member of the Community Foundation of Carroll County makes you smile?
Right now, I'd like to just say that they're great people. Jackie and Mel, and there's nothing that they wouldn't do for us and for the nonprofits that they represent, and they're fantastic. And I remember this is not the Jackie, but her predecessor, Audrey Simino. So I'll tell you a quick story on that. About 3 or 4 years ago, his guy's name, I'm not going to use his last name, just Charlie. Okay? He was an Army veteran. He was a reserve. Okay? And he wanted to be a member of the American Legion. So he was dying of cancer, and he was out in Colorado, and he drove out there. And unfortunately, because of the cancer had progressed, he couldn't drive back. So he came back on a plane, and he had, oh my God, about 400 or 500 pounds worth of things that he took out in the car, but he couldn't. He had to leave his car back out there. So Audrey Simino, the former director, she said to me, she said, "Bill, is there any way that you can go over and pick him up?" And I said, "Sure, I'll pick him up." And the whole family, him and his wife were coming back from Colorado. So we went over to BWI airport, and it was like 11:30 at night before they came in. So we loaded him up in the van, and he was in a wheelchair. We had a wheelchair for him, and everything worked out well. And we took him home. And this is what the type of things that we do that no one else will be able to do that. But if there's a possibility that we could do that, and this is just a collaboration, for example, between the community foundation and Friends of Disabled Veterans, and they'll call me if there's any special needs that they might have, and we help each other out, and that's what life is. It should be for. That's helping our fellow human beings.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been wonderful. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Kayla. So good to meet you, and I'm looking forward to sitting down with you and have a cup of coffee with you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. To hear more, please subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about the Community Foundation of Carroll County, please visit wearecarroll.org. Talk to you soon.